welcome to another video, A Walk with Phil, and I'm in West Bromwich. And today what I thought I'd do is take you along Gladstone Street here in the heart of Tantany. It's a bit of a chill out video today really, just going to have a walk along the whole length of this street and point out hopefully some interesting stuff along the way. One of the things about the Tantany estate, when it was built in the 1920s, 1930s, a lot of the streets were named after major historical figures, and as we go along Gladstone Street we'll point a few of those out as we go along. So let's go and have a look, see what we can find along Gladstone Street. The beginning of Gladstone Street that just comes off Church Lane. What we've got here to the right is a whole new apartment block. When I say it's new, it looks new. It's been here a while now. There used to be a nail company there called Hall and Rice, used to be on the corner. As you can see with Church Lane, as it comes from up there, from the Black Lake area, you can see how it descends down towards what used to be the Nag's Head, I think, pub, just at the bottom of this hill. Because underneath, just underneath here, there used to be a canal. And I think this area was maybe called the Jesson Bridge. There used to be an ironworks just ahead of me here. And it was open, it was kind of an open plan factory that was, because you could be walking along here in the dead of night and there'd be men working in there the night shift. And you can see them as you walk past, working in a severe heat. But just here now, we've got the Oriental Tube Works, which was here from the 1890s, and they obviously there were tube manufacturers before they became making electrical conduits in the 60s. They was taken over by GKN. But just here, all along here, used to be the canal, and it was the Alford branch from the Birmingham Canal. And also just about there, there'd be another branch that would just go under that, where that wall is now. And the canal would run under what was known as the Ridgeacre Bridge here, just around about here. And the canal would cross over there, and that would serve a couple of industries that were just over the back here. Before all these houses were built, there was a couple of factories just over there. It was the Staffordshire Wire Mills over here, and just a bit further beyond there the canal would serve the Ridgeacre Iron Foundry. And as I said, this would be the site of Hall and Rice as well, just here. I'm not sure when all the canals all got filled in, but as you can see, as I look over here next to the Oriental Tube Works, you can see now it's all like a concrete car park. The units, they're all the Oriental Tube Works now are all units, and one of them you see is like a children's play area here. Space Operas, I think. Space Operas it's called. And Gladstone Street, of course, was named after a Victorian Prime Minister in the late 1800s, under the reign of Queen Victoria. What's interesting about Gladstone Street, I think, as well, is that it seems to be in two distinct parts, and I never remembered it being the case when I used to walk up here in the 70s. But I'll show you what I mean in a bit. All these houses look all along here. These are all like 20s, 1930s properties, and they're all being done up now. Got all those not so nice fancy doors on the front now, nicely painted doors. The brickwork's all cleaned up. And all these are just built on like an elevated section of Gladstone Street. It's a Thursday morning, the sun's out, so what better day to walk around Tantany. Right, we can get a better view now of where the canal would have run. As you can see now, where that grass bank is just down there, so where the Halford branch would have ran. And the brickwork there to the left would have been the branch off this particular canal to serve those industries I just mentioned over to my left. And the canal with its towpath would obviously run round here, and it would have continued. The canal would have gone right down the bottom there and curved to the left, and would have gone right round the whole of the Oriental steel tube factory. It was quite a big factory. It's still a big area. I'm not sure if all the units are used, but they are all factory units now. These look fairly new to my left, these bungalows. This one's called Wordsworth Street. Wordsworth, of course, the famous poet. The one I know about is the one he wrote about daffodils. There's Wordsworth Street for you. A lot of fancy drives now. Can you imagine all these were gardens once? But you don't see many front lawns now. They're all been dug up, paved over, so put the cars on. And there's a good reason for that as well, because you can see how wide some of these pavements are when they built this area. But the roads were, you can see, fairly narrow. I mean, you've got room for 2 cars to pass either side, but if you've got the cars parked on the curb, like you do see from time to time along here, you will have to wait for the oncoming car to pass, because they are very narrow roads. And that's how they built them back then. It's quite a long street actually, here's Gladstone Street. And we come to, this is the first of 2 areas where the roads all seem to converge into one here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 roads, if you like, that kind of converge. The first one we have down here is called Greswold Street. Just show you down Greswold Street. And we got Hague Street. Now I'm going to have to guess, my historical knowledge might not be up to speed. I think Hague was another one of those war leaders. I might have been in the First World War. But Hague Street was also this street actually got bombed in World War II in 1940, I think it was. There is a shop just at the top there on the right. Yeah, just in the middle of the road, one of the bomb landed. Caused major damage to the water system and the sewage system. And Hague Street continues along there. Gladstone Street, being part of the Tantany estate, was built, as I said, around about the 1920s, 1930s. It was one of the first areas that the council built council houses on. Another large area that they used was over in the Charlemont area, just off Holyedge Road. But this was probably the first major council house development in West Bromwich. But lots of the properties here, 1920s, 1930s, they all look they all appear to be in all good order. And you can see here again how wide the pavements are here. Look how wide they are here. Not many corner shops, I don't think, in this area. Could do with 1 or 2 more, I'd have thought. Wonder what's under that white cover there. Is this lady's garden? There's not many houses you see today without cars. They've all got cars now. Not only just one car, but two, sometimes three. This house on the corner's it's very ornate with its ironwork surrounding its white walls. Lots of pot plants on the driveway. This is the second area of Gladstone Street that's got where all the roads converge. Okay, so we got the 1, 2, 3, 4 roads converging here. Again, that's rather a fancy wall here surrounding these properties. And there's Lily Street. Now I don't know who Lily was. Surely he was somebody famous, wasn't he? Or she? Peel Street? No, we know Peel Street. He created the police force, didn't he? Peel, Robert Peel, where Bobby's was named after him. There's one of the original street signs, I would say, on that house there, with Peel Street on the white wall. See all these cars giving way, don't know who to give way to, do they? Right, this is Lily Street again. This is where up there, at the top of Lily Street there, you got very old terrace type properties, late 1880s, 1890s. Up the top there of Lily Street. Lily Street would also continue down that area there. This is what I was saying about Gladstone Street being in kind of two distinct parts, because now we've come to an area here where all the houses that would have been 20s, 30s have all seemed to have gone. They all seem very new around here. All very new houses. When I say new, I mean I don't know how long ago they would have been built, but they are obviously different to the Gladstone Street we've just come up. Yeah, there's 3 cars on that one, on that drive, look. Now we've got Nelson Street to my right, we know Nelson. James Eaton was one of Nelson's officers in Battle of Trafalgar. There is a James Eaton Street, I believe, and James Eaton is buried in the All Saints Church. A lot of the houses here have also they've kept their front lawns. Some bungalows over that side. Some very nice driveways, some of them. Having your driveway done these days ain't cheap. Okay, we're coming towards the end of Gladstone Street now. As we come to the end, it joins with Hargate Lane. There's Eden Grove down there. I don't think that's named after anything particularly famous unless it's biblical. Many of you who know of Gladstone Street would have mainly walked along here to get to school, Churchfield School, which would have been down to the left, down along All Saints Way. Okay, now this is where the Gladstone Street now veers to the right, but back right up until the late 60s, this road would have terminated just about here at the end of this path. Would have terminated here, Gladstone Street, and to the right there is Hargate Lane. You'd be giving way to traffic from Hargate Lane, because Hargate Lane would have continued over there by that corner shop. Hargate Lane would have continued down there and it would have joined Linden Street. Now all these names have changed now. The road over there now has become Grafton Road, and of course you can see that shop now is called Grafton Road Stores. This is now the All Saints Way. I did a video about All Saints Way. I walked all the way down All Saints Way right down to All Saints Church. Very historical road, loads of history along All Saints Way. Show you this place here, this pub here on Hargate Lane. It's called the Hargate Arms. It was quite a popular pub back in the day. Sadly, it's been closed for some time now. I think it's now got some residential use, but you can still see that it was a public house with Hargate Arms emblazoned on the side. I don't know, China Clipper comes to mind. Was it called the China Clipper? But Hargate Lane had 3 or 4 different pubs back in the day, but nothing here now. All gone now. You can see it's still got some original signage on the side of the Hargate, and you've still got all the car parking. Well, that was a quick walk, wasn't it, along Gladstone Street. It was just a chilled walk along on a nice sunny day here on the Tantany estate. As I said earlier, I think many of you may have remembered Gladstone Street in your youth when you used to have to go to Churchfield School back in the, I remember it mainly in the 70s. And the top end of Gladstone Street, I don't remember all those new houses. I presume they've always been there, I just can't remember them. Don't know when they was built. But anyway, that's the end of our walk then in Gladstone Street, and we'll leave it at that. And if you like the video, hit the like button and also hit subscribe and hit the notification bell for new videos, and I'll see you on the next one.